I'm inside a ball of light and energy.
Interesting. Are you laying in this ball of energy? Are you folded up in Indian style? How are you in this ball of energy?
I'm sitting down with crossed legs in the middle of this energy ball.
Oh, very nice. And I want you to just look at your form, look at your hands. How are you shaped? How do you?
I have rather dark skin. I have long arms, long legs, and I have same hands I had before, 3 fingers and a thumb.
Very nice. And what color is your skin? Oh, you say it's dark, but dark.
Brown.
Ah, very good. And your face and your head? How does your?
I feel no hair on my head, so I'm bald. I have a little peculiar formed head. It's like it's wider on the top and narrow down on my chin.
A peculiar formed head, so wide on the top and narrow at the chin.
Yeah. A small, narrow mouth, rather big eyes, bigger than normal.
Oh, very good. And inside this energy ball that you're inside of, is it transparent?
Yeah, in part it's transparent. Some parts are dimmed, but
Understood.
I can make it transparent.
No.
When I look at one part, it's becoming transparent.
Ah, very good. I want you to look to your right, and magically you will see a really good reflection of yourself. And I just want you to really look at yourself and describe this form. Is it?
It's definitely extraterrestrial. I have met this uh, entity before.
In our sessions?
Yes,
Ah, very good. And you can. And what are you wearing? What type of garments?
I have a full cover over my body with purple, some kind of fabric from top to toes, and there's some over my chest is striped with different, seems like letters or symbols.
Interesting. Very good. And let's just.
And down in the bottom of the rim of this robe or garment, there is also a stripe with there are beads in the end of this. It's like not diamonds, but some kind of jewelry.
Some type of crystals or something.
Yes, shining in different colors,
Ah,
and it's beaming out also from that edge there.
excellent. Now go ahead and focus forward again, and the reflection will fade. And as you're in this beam of energy, are you traveling inside this to somewhere, or are you just sitting stationary?
I am supposed to travel, but they want me to show something first.
Ah, very good. And let them show you, and you may.
They take me out or this energy take me out a bit in the space surrounding the planet Gaia, and they are showing that it's are being lit up with beams of light coming from every direction, not only from the sun, it's coming from everywhere, and it's almost glowing. The atmosphere is glowing around the planet, and it's going all through the solar system, this beam that's almost jumping between the planets. and it's like it's hit by a lot of light and energy.
And does the energy seem to be coming from the planet itself, or does it actually seem like it's coming from the entities on the planet?
Now it seems like it come from outside into the planet,
Ah, very
but
good.
there is not one singular source for it just come in from different angles, bombarding the planet with energy.
Ah, very good. And I want you to telepathically send a message to the energy that's encompassing you and ask it, what are you being shown, please?
They're telling me that they want us to see the shifting of the energy level in this uh, planet system that we are receiving now.
Is that
Uh,
what we
That's what we are seeing, the energy boosting all on this planet and the other planets. And it seems like it's coming in a loop from the center of the galaxy into different planets. It's very,
beautiful?
yeah, it's beautiful.
Is this what's happening in the now? Is this what's happening right now as in our linear expression?
Yeah,
Ah, very good.
it's happening and has been going on for a while now. And it's continue for a while into our future.
And just for the sake of, because we're asking this question, and there may be lots of people who are watching this that may not understand what they're saying or what the meaning of what you're expressing is. What is the end game? What happens as this energy? What's going to happen as this energy keeps bombarding the planet? What are they saying? What is their impression of what will happen?
It's like you're fulfilled with different kind of energy that you haven't had access to before. It's raising your knowledge and your understanding of how things are connected and how important it is for you to acknowledge that connection in a collectively way. But you also have to understand that you as a singular being are very important. You are a cog in this connection.
A cog in the wheels of creation.
Yeah, and in the wheel of life going on.
Understood.
Yes. They want to share this with us because many are in doubt on your planet that anything is going to change. But as soon as they let go of that thought that they have in their mind and stop listen to the brain chatter and connect with their inner self, they are soon realize that this is actually happen.
Excellent. Beautiful. Um, I had a question about this energetic shift and this. Um, from my understanding, in our linear past on December 21st, 2012, when there was the huge, when as we're still in that alignment, that the planet is shifted into the fifth dimension at that time, and a majority of the people just haven't realized it. Is that would that be accurate?
Yes, but some of it started long before that.
Oh, very good.
In the linear time of you in the 50s, after many big wars, they were decided that this is the timeline and the place for you to shift. It was the uh, most,
Energetic bombardment.
yeah, it was the best timeline for you to go into this shift now.
Okay, very good. Right before the
Because
60s.
because of the placement of your galaxy in universe and because of the placement of your solar system in the galaxy. It was very much beneficial for you to do this now.
Excellent. Excellent. Is there anything else that they would like to share about what they're presenting to you now before we go forward?
They're showing me a very pristine, lovely planet, glowing with energy, glowing. It's almost like it's a bliss, but not in a religious way.
Understood.
They're showing that we are going to connect back and value things in another way than we did before, and respecting things and not exploring the planet you live on in the same way because you're causing harm. When you're causing harm to the planet and uh, take out all resources from it, you're also hurting every living being on the planet. And
Understood.
it's very important for you to reconnect to the nature and try to heal it. You can heal it with love. You can heal it physically in some places where you cause injury to the planet. And it's very much important now to realize that you not longer can sustain that kind of living you have had before. We are here to help you. We are going to bring forward technique and technology for you to use in this, but you have to be in a state of mind before we can reveal this for you.
Understood. And who are we, please?
We are the collective of 11th dimension talking to you now. And all of you on your planet are connected in a collective way, and you certainly need to acknowledge that and respect that is a reality as not a fantasy.
Acknowledge our 11th dimensional connection.
Yes. You all come through this dimension before you manifested on this planet you're residing now. But many of you forgot as you came in the task and issues you had to fulfill. But you are now helped with this burst of energy to connect back to that knowledge again. And many of you are waking up in a higher rate than ever before. And we are pleased to see this. Very pleased to see this.
Thank you. And we are very honored with your presence, and we appreciate it tremendously. And as you're in this energetic bubble, is there somewhere that you're supposed to travel to so we can?
I'm there now.
Uh,
I'm already there.
and where have you made it to then, sir?
I am on a physical planet that is a moon to a giant other gas planet that are surrounded with a big aura. And they're showing us this because this is the place that we all transcended from before reincarnated in back to your planet.
We have we were there before. Are you by the lake or?
Yes, it's the same place.
Oh, very good. And Maya, is Maya in this place with you today, or are you manifest as Maya now?
Yes, you're talking to Maya.
How are you, Maya? I recognize you. That's quite an outfit you have on there.
Yeah, I think it was appropriate for the time.
Oh, very good. Is that because we have a lady here? We have Michelle Whaling. Are you familiar with Michelle Whaling?
Sure.
She's a beautiful light worker. And what can you just I would like to bring her into this conversation as quick as I possibly can. What could you tell Michelle about what you know about who she is and what you recognize in her energy signature, please?
She has been a light worker for many of the years. And she's a very enlightened being. And she's connected to many of you on your planet. You are also connected in different communities and doing work together there. You, as being Hank today, are connected to her and has been a long, long time, and now it's the appropriate time for you to reconnect in a physical way because we are perceiving that you're going to do some work together in the future and you will be activated in a different way. But you need to keep that close to your heart for the moment.
Very good. We won't go into any details. Right now we are taping this as we always do and presenting it. So, of course, we already know anything that you have no desire to be released in this moment. I know you won't mention, but thank you very much for that. How many times has Michelle been manifest on Earth uh, as a human being, first of all? If you could share that. And I know her.
As a human sapien, she has been here several times, several different timelines, as you perceive it. But it's all happened simultaneously.
Simultaneously, yes.
Yeah.
Is her higher expression there? You know how my higher self always arrives, and Lars, of course, is Michelle's higher expression.
Yeah, it's necessary to be that way to be able to communicate.
Very good. And so, as you can tell, obviously you have permission to share any information. Well, Michelle, if anything that they could share, and even if they had a designation or a name, which I know you're not all about names, but even a name, which she may already have, I don't know, we haven't discussed that, that she could connect.
We are not so keen on going into details, but we can say that we have followed her work very closely for a while, and we are very much pleased what she's doing. And she needs to keep focusing on what she's doing and keep the higher intention in her heart. And the higher intention is what she presents in form of information. And we are pleased so far what is going on. And we can see that you both as an entity and energy are going to develop new methods to develop this method you are working in and that path you are on now. We can see that your paths are crossing each other and you're going to have interaction as you have now.
Very good. And obviously, she and I have worked together before in or on councils or what have you.
You're still doing that on many different councils, yes. You are more as a teacher, and she is more like a healer and communicator. And you have little different tasks, but it's really close connected to each other.
Oh, very good. Very, very good. And so, once again, she and I are connected though, and that's just a good thing because I remember when she connected with me, I didn't know exactly who she was. I heard of Greg Prescott, her counter. Is I don't know if is his energy in this space as well.
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, is it? I don't know.
It's surrounding her all the time.
Very good. I was just wondering if his energy. I don't. We didn't ask him for permission or anything like that, but we have permission if his energy would even come forward, uh, and that would be wonderful if possible, please.
Whatever you like to focus on to bring forward, we will be happy to be in assistance for that.
Our desire today, literally in this session, is we're doing an interview with Michelle because she has a YouTube channel, the same as mine. Hers is called Indy 5. She and Greg Prescott have developed this together, and it's an amazing site for lots of information that you have already stated. And we just had a desire, if there was any type of information, motivating information, a message of love that you could share with them about their progress and what they're doing, it would be so much appreciated. And then we can go off to other information for the masses and what's holding us back and what can take us forward in the future in this transition. So anything that you could share about Greg, he has given permission, and it would be a blessing.
We can tell you that the different kind of work they're doing are resonating with many, many, many entities on your planet, and they are known for many different level of energies and different level of dimensions. They are known by being beings with, as you say, a big heart and concern, and have in their heart to help with this transition you're going through now. But I have done this for a long time and reaching out to many, many with that kind of work. And that is pure love, and we are appreciating that very much.
Oh, very good. Very good. And Michelle, if you had anything right now, just while we're in this part of this, any questions or anything that is crossing your mind, and we already know our intention here is for the highest intent and good of everyone who happens upon this interview to receive this.
Yes, thank you. I was just wondering if, as a light worker, as someone who's here to help, we always want to do as much as we can while we're here. Are there any other areas of focus that we haven't thought about that we could expand our knowledge and being able to spread more information to the masses?
We are very pleased what you are doing now, because you're resonating in very much bigger way that you can understand, and that is a really good thing. We want you to stay in that focus on that, because you're doing different kind of works, and whatever make you feel happy, whatever make you feel good about it, you should concentrate on that part.
Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. And so the water, are the dolphins out there today?
I can't see them, but I see 4 blue swans. They are very beautiful, shifting in different blue colors as they move smooth the water.
Well, you know how my mind works. Those blue swans actually showed up yesterday. Could you please have the blue swans come forward? I have a feeling that these blue birds have something to say or something to communicate. Is that possible?
Sure.
Oh, very good. I'd be delighted to hear uh, anything they'd have to say or share.
I'm standing a bit in the water, and they're coming, surrounding me now.
How many are there?
4.
4, yes. Okay, very good.
They are entity of a very high frequency. They are entities with all knowledge that is available for the moment. They are in direct connection with the source, so they are happy to meet you all, and they have heard about your work, and I want to acknowledge that they are very much appreciating what you're doing, because they are also influenced on your planet and the galaxy as whole by overseeing the energy flow that's flowing through this galaxy of you now and into this part of the universe. You need to understand it's a very vast area, and they're overseeing that what is happening now in this timeline on your planet, your planet system, and your area in the universe.
Beautiful. I noticed that they were on the water yesterday when the dolphins took you on Arcturus. And
Yes,
what is, um,
two of them were there present.
two of them were present. Each individual of those four, what do the four represent? I have another question about it, but what do these four swans represent and why four? I'm just curious. It's a human question, but
They represent archangels.
that's exactly what I thought. And which particular archangels might possibly be
This is the energy of Archangel Michael communicating with me, but you have to understand it's not a being, it's an energy
understood, understood.
that is directly connected back to source with no veil or any hinder or obstacle between.
Understood. And
But they are not angelic in the way of Christianity way of interpreting. They are angelic in the way they are beaming of knowledge and energy.
messengers of God. Understood. So Archangel Michael and
Gabriel, and they both are just smiling.
we rarely have had communications with them. We
Uriel.
Uriel. That is my. I'm in from the house of Uriel, and I'm
Yeah.
almost crying.
This is a expression also of your higher self, of course, because everything is connected, and it's very much beaming of the same energy that you are beaming, the same energy as your female friend are beaming. You are all connected.
That's why when Michelle asked me who I was, I definitely said the house of Uriel. Very good. And maybe the last one, please.
Caladriel. It's they're presenting it for me with images and so it's hard sometimes to interpret it into a language. They're giving me feelings. I can say that they're all beaming out so much love that it's almost overwhelming.
That's pretty much what everyone who channels the archangels. I know this will be your first. I remember before they sort of came forward, but they didn't come forward in form. And why blue? I'm interested in why the color blue, the swans being blue.
It's the color of communication.
Exactly. Exactly. It's the throat chakra. Very good. And I
And we,
love,
we can feel that your friend has more questions.
very good.
Yes, thank you. Would the four swans be representing the four that we've been talking about here?
Yes,
Greg, myself, Lars, and Hank on the higher aspect.
yes, very
Thank
much
you.
so.
Very
You
good.
you are much closer connected than you can really understand with your mind. But there's no, in any way, any problems. So just keep doing and keep focusing on the work you do.
I
You do great.
I love almost every message that I hear from Archangel Michael. Uh, I just so incredibly resonate with everything that and that of Jesus or Sananda or whatever name they want to give that particular energy. Um, so I'm just very happy to be in the presence in this audience here and now. And if any of them, if they would please say Archangel Michael, as we would call it, or what have you, we understand. We've already made the discrepancy of who you are or the energy that you are. If you could give a message right now to the planet and all those who are listening in, it would be very much appreciated.
We would like to talk about the importance of your existing on this planet you are living on now, that is spreading the message of love, that is so much misunderstood because we are not talking about love between a man and a woman. We are talking now about the love that you can sometimes feel when you're standing in front of something that is so overwhelming that you almost not can look at it, you cannot listen to it. It can be a very, very beautiful piece of music that make your hair stand up on your arms. It's that kind of feeling we're talking about that connect you back in so deep level of your entity, of your being. And we want you to focus to spread that message even to even to the people you almost dislike. You can tell them, I'm here to give you my love. I'm here to spread this with you. I don't care about what you do. I'm not resonating what you're doing, but I respect you and I love you as a part of me. That is so important now. It's going to spread like ripples on a pond. When you throw in a stone, you see the rings spread through the water. It's exactly the same thing with this. It's like the game of pay it forward. For every time you recognize the love for someone else, they are going to recognize it for several others, and it will spread like a wildfire. So concentrate on that positive energy level. And we know that you as individual doing that, but we're giving this to the masses also to resonate with this important message, because keeping on to anger and hatred is so devastating for you. It's so devastating for all the planetary system and the galaxy and the universe and all living energies. So respect that connection, and you will not be able to harm it anymore. You will just recognize the importance of every living being, the importance of every living energy in every kind of way. And that is the ultimate goal for you to reconnect. And when you reconnect back to that source, you are going to have a total different knowledge, a total different energy level, and you will not longer be held back in any kind of work you're doing. Whatever you focus on will be a success. Whatever thing you want to tell others will be heard. So it's very important.
Oh, very good. And thank you so much for that beautiful message. And I take it to heart. And I know that the listeners on my channel and on N5D will as well. And so we're very appreciative. That's why when I ground Lars, I always use that blue diamond sword, and your blue diamond sword is what we call it, and our Gabriel's violet flame. Uh, would uh, Uriel have anything to share in this moment, please?
They are collectively giving this message.
Very, very good. And we are so happy and blessed to have the opportunity. Already tears falling from my eyes. I never talked to the archangels before, and I know it's not the religious archangels and all that, but I do know it's a really high vibration, and we are very appreciative. Um,
And we have all been standing here together before you manifested on your planet. We have all had this connection before in front of whatever task you have decided to take up on yourself. And don't forget that we are all connected in that way.
I understand, and I'm really happy that you said that, because this is how it happens for me when I'm in these sessions. You say something and then it sparks something. So here's, do they mind answering maybe a few questions, please?
Not at all.
Okay, very good. So we were discussing amongst ourselves Well, Michelle put the question to us about um, uh, everyone that's on the planet. And I said that everyone that's on the planet right now, and Lars was saying that are incarnating into, we were speaking of the young people, and I said within the past 100 years or so, everyone that's on the planet right now physically manifest knew the divine plan and knew what they were getting into. Some were going to play what we would consider the dark, and some were going to play what we consider the light. And so I ask of you, of those who have chosen to play the opposition or the dark, so to speak, once this particular physical incarnation for them, when they've decided or it's over or they've decided to come back to source, so to speak, uh, is it accurate to say that everyone on the planet right now knew exactly what their roles would be when they physically manifested into physical on the physical earth? Is that
They are living out that role now in a different way than before. And some of you may suffer, but you have to understand that you are the architect of your life. So if you not longer want to take holding on to that role, you have a free will to step out of that whenever you want. You can step out of that by taking step backwards, looking at your life occurring now, and then you will understand what it needs for you to change what is happening. It's being revealed for you. And a good way is, as we've spoken about many times before in your sessions here and in other way, we've spoken about connecting back to the nature. Sit down on a beach, sit down on a meadow, sit down in the forest, and be quiet. And we mean by be quiet in your mind. Stop listening to all that chattering that is going on. I need to buy this, I need to fix that, I need. Every time your brain is interfering with your reconnection to the high frequency. So the best way for you is just sit down and shut up and listen to what it's giving to you in that moment. And you're going to perceive it in form of different feeling. You can feel sad, you can feel happy, you can feel overwhelmed. But every one of that feeling is feeding into you knowledge and understanding how you change your reality, because it's you that playing that reality. No one from outside is doing that. It's from
excellent?
within.
Excellent. That was good information. Thank you very much for that. Uh, and that answered my question most definitely. Uh, Michelle?
Yes, I would like to ask for some of the people who may be leaving this reality through leaving their body and maybe going on to another experience. How can we help those people transition to where they can move to where they need to be and not become earthbound?
No one is longer being earthbound when they pass out of their existence. No one is longer held back to this density. They will all transcend to a higher frequency and being cared for and being helped in the transition. There is a time of adjustment when you're leaving this dense reality where you live now. So some of you need some longer time to align again, but some of you will do it instantly. But there is no death. There is not after or before. It's just now. And we want you to understand that even if the most important feeling you have to get rid of is the fear. The fear is such powerful uh, energy that have been put into you by your society and your system you're living in. But many of you are now leaving that fear behind, and that is releasing so many of you. So if someone is afraid of any transition in any way, it's always being and going to be a bit frightening for you humans to step into a dark room without knowing what's inside the door. But no sinister, nothing bad will ever happen to you, and you will never be judged in any way. So keep that in your heart, and if you have someone in your surrounding going through that transition, just hold them hand and give them love.
Perfect. Thank you. I also have a website where I share the truth about the control system that has been happening on the planet, only for awareness for those who are waking up and kind of need to see the reality as what it is so we can change it. But at what point do we, if we focus on that, are we still giving it energy to exist in our reality, or at what point does that matter?
If you hold on to that is the reality that you are in, it's going to hold you back. But as you certainly can see, that the elite is getting the grip of the control that had before on your humanities. And it's so very different in different places on your planet. Some places are more developed and beyond that control. Your place on the planet is still under very much influence of fear monger, and you have to release what we told you before, the fear. And when you release the fear, they lose their power to control you. But it's not possible for you to totally ignore what's going on. You have to acknowledge it, but not be in that energy. You have to acknowledge it, that it's happening, and for every time you acknowledge that, they're losing more of the ability to control you. And that's a shift that's going on, and it's no futile to try to resist that changes.
Thank you. There is also a lot of fear about the American dollar being reevaluated. It's happening in other countries, and just to quell the fears about any kind of reset for the American dollar or our whole financial system, is there a plan in place that seamlessly will keep people from not being able to go to the grocery store and buy food or buy gasoline? What can we expect with this financial system?
You're going to be provided with what you need. The collection of wealth and that are in a way perceived as power for you, it's going to lose the importance. You're in the future going to take away this monetary system on your planet because you're going to be provided with every need you have. And you are going to connect with other entities that are, it's more going back to the way it was a long time ago on your planet when you exchanged services. Your friend painted your house, you mended their car or whatever. You're going to have that kind of thing instead of this monetary system that is just a benefit for very few of you, but you will be provided, so have no fear.
Thank you for that answer.
You're welcome.
Excellent. We are very, very grateful and honored and pleased to be in this scenario as such. Um,
You have to understand that the monetary system is connected to different valuation of things. It's connected to material as oil or gold, and that is just a made-up thing. Nothing is more worth than anything else. Nothing is more worth than a straw of grass. It's a straw of grass. is worth as much as a barrel of oil, but it's made up for you to give away the power to control your own life. And you're now going to take back that power. And that's why the elite are panicking now, because they feel they're losing more and more of the power because they are revealed in the way that they impose that on you. They are not allowed to control you any longer in this way. And as every time you point at what is going on in this social inequality that you have built up for so many years in your country and many other places, as you every time you acknowledge that, it changes. It's changed automatically. It's not longer possible for them to hold on to that, because everyone is going to point the finger at them and say, we don't resonate with this type of behavior. You have to let go. And they are losing the power to hold on to that. But you still have a way to go before you are in that reality.
Ah, very good. Very, very good. Um, how are we doing on time, Michelle? Where are we at in terms of how long this?
We've been going for 45 minutes. We still have some time.
Okay, excellent. So I had a question about everything about divine decrees from source. What divine decrees have been made? And say, for an example, it was it's in my understanding, no more nuclear bombs will be exploded on the planet Earth. But if there's any particular divine decrees, I figure who would know better than the direct connections to source. And even if you give me one or two, or maybe even if there's three, and that is for everyone who would be listening to these.
The decree you are talking about that is important in this timeline is stay focused on the path you're walking. As soon as you get feedback with a feel of love and understanding and recognition, you are on the right path. You can perceive it as a deja vu. You can perceive it as a feeling of happiness when you do something. Then that is acknowledgement of what you're doing is on the right path.
Okay.
And you need to focus and not be distracted by entities around you that want to distract you. They are still there and they still have influence. But as long as you focus and keep doing what you're doing, it will be just fine and you will be protected.
Very good. And uh, I know a law is do no harm, but everyone stay focused on, and I guess that's really strong for the light workers who are familiar with the path that they're on.
Yes, but even if you're not directly in that realm or area of work, if you keep the love into your heart and share that with your fellow human being, you will connect and they will be enlightened. Automatically, they will understand that there is so much more that I can see and hear and taste around me. So that is very good if you keep that in mind. And hold on to the positive thinking, if you can say so, because then you're holding on to an energy level that are in another dimension and another frequency that than you have had before on your planet. You will not longer be able to stay in that density you are now. It's racing.
Perfect. Very, very good. So Michelle, another piece.
Yes, I don't get into politics much because we know it has an alternative agenda and distraction and just ridiculous circus act. However, because of the times that we are in with this extreme polarity coming to a head, I wonder if you would mind telling us a bit about Donald Trump and his role in this extreme polarity?
His role has been to point of everything that is bad for you. His role has been, but he's not aware of it, but he's in his state of mind, think he's doing the right thing, and in a way he do, because he awakens so many more of you to see the polarity to that with other politicians that are changing the way of views in your country and also in other countries around the world. He evoked a feeling of fear, and what we said before, fear is the most negative energy you can hold on to. So many of you are not focusing on that, and he is losing the power to connect to more people around him. He's doing the opposite. He pushed them away with his type of polarity, and it's focusing. It's just hold under his arm with the establishment that are feeding of feeding of that energy, because they think they are able to hold on to wealth and to prosperity in a way that is not going to be able to sustain for a long time.
So would you
And
say, I'm sorry, would you say that he would maybe not be successful in being president because of the fear that he is generating right now as we
we can't
change?
we can't see him becoming a president in your country anyway soon. The focus is the most of the inhabitants in your country are focused in a total different area. They are focused on equality between you, because there are so big difference between poverty and wealth in your country than in the most of the rest of the world. And you're now aware that this has been going on, that both we think you call them Democrats and Republicans, and they have played this type of polarity, but they are also under the same control. But now they're breaking some of you breaking out of that you are not longer fulfilled with that messages, and that way they're trying to control everything. So you're soon going into a reality where more people are having the highest intention in their heart and are directing the whole of your community in the right direction.
So as an
But
American
to be
citizen
just to be
voting,
clear, I'm sorry, please forgive me. To be clear, he has played a very positive role in pointing out things on that platform where others would not have been able to or have the balls to do so, which was a very positive thing. Even if he doesn't become the president, he played a I mean, because there's things that he said that I've never ever heard any politician ever say about greater truths of what's going on the planet, shy of extraterrestrials.
He has pointed out every type of energy that no one of you want to live in. You will not like to live in a constant fear of being attacked. You will not live behind any boundaries of walls or fences. You will not live in a fear of constantly being in the fear of being attacked. He has pointed his finger on this, but in a way he wasn't aware of. And that has woken many of you up and understood that this is just so demolishing for our humanity to keep on holding on to that energy.
And that's understood, but he also pointed out that there was major corruption going on all
Yes.
levels of the government. Even as Reagan started giving people, they started giving people to take their businesses to other countries. Those are things that were never said, and he says he wants to bring those back. I mean, I'm not any,
Many have said that before. No
I've
one
never,
has listened
I've never heard.
because they have never be backed up but from your corporate media. There are entities that have struggled for this equality between you for many, many, many years.
Okay, and that's understood, and many have said it, but not on that platform where
No,
every person in the United States of America going and listening to this can actually hear it said in the mainstream. That's huge.
correct,
That's huge. I
correct.
see it as huge. But, Michelle,
And and all has a purpose.
yes.
Some people say that giving your vote to a Democrat or Republican is basically giving your free will up to be able to be ruled by one or the other in this back and forth. On a higher level, would you say that if there are two um, candidates that neither one of them are fit to run our country, would you vote for the lesser of the two evils, or would you stop voting at that point?
No, you should vote. You should vote with your heart. You should vote with your intuition. You should not vote with fear. So looking at the less evil of two is the wrong way to perceive it, because in the future for you it's going to be big changes in this. There are not longer going to be only two parties. There are going to be many different energies that like to share their knowledge with you, and that is coming to your country soon also. It's already started. You have many, many, many young people getting into that area of politics now that are going to make a tremendous change.
Thank you. But as far as for this November of 2016 election that we have coming up, we've also uncovered information that most all of the elections are rigged or fixed. So, could you comment on that as far as will anything change before November as to what we see could be that, the two candidates that it's coming down to?
They're coming out a lot of messages in front of that make influence your way of thinking and the way you're perceiving, but in a way you're correct. Uh, Voting on these two entities have no bigger change, but you have the responsibility that you cannot vote out of fear for something being bad or something being better than the other. Everything that is meant to be is going to happen anyway. So use your uh, right, use your ability with your intuition that is in direct connection with the source. When you use that ability that you have as an entity, it, it will always take you in the right direction.
So,
Absolutely. I believe that people
Don't you?
somehow keep the community seems to keep forgetting, and I know the masses of people don't get it, but there is a transitional shift that's going on, and every single day, and every minute, and every hour, it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and we have to have faith that the right thing is going to happen because it is going to happen. And even like right now, it is August. What's next? September, October, in 3 months. The way the vibration is rising right now, so many miracles can be manifest if everyone that's listening in is quit worrying about the fear of, oh, what if this, quit rehashing that and literally start to write your script. I tell every person who crosses my path who are trying to get information out of me for whatever reason for these sessions, get you a notebook, a journal, and write down what you desire to happen. You're writing the script, and collectively we can make miracles happen. All kind of
Yeah.
things could happen with these two candidates, and other people may have to step forward. If we put so much power into a negative timeline and fear for what's going to happen, that's exactly what's going to manifest. And we as light workers, with all the energy and power that we have, and understanding and even knowing enlightenment, if you're going to put it that way, we have to use that and quit doubting it. That, oh, what if? It's not what if, it's what you make. We are the creators of our experience. We are writing the script. So I would say, and that's what I say in my sessions and on my channel at all times, you guys rewrite the script. We don't want those two in there. Then always pray and put the energy, and I say pray as far as a focus intention on what you desire to happen, and just keep the focus there and watch, especially if a lot of us do it. We keep, like I'm not going to say it again, keep asking about what if that, make what we have a desire to happen, and then watch the miracles happen. And then everyone will be like, wow, we did that. We really did that. And we did it at the most crucial time. And it's really crucial. That's why I'm here. So
Yeah, it's very important for you to understand that it's you that create your own reality.
Yes, exactly.
And if you're holding on to that kind of question, what, who, when, you are giving the power away from yourself to create that reality. And you're waiting for someone from outside to fix it. It's never going to happen.
Which
It's
I understand now what the divine decree says. I said, what is the divine decree? Focus on love.
Yes.
Focus on what you desire to create. Now it really even makes more sense now just hearing it again. Or that's
focus on what's giving you happiness
like
in your life.
Yeah. So if having a wonderful president, even though, and who knows, maybe if their heart may change, and maybe it can, but we have to give that energy to it, as opposed to living in fear, living in doubt, living in worry, because all those things are manifest from fear. I always say there's an angel and there's a devil. Feed the devil gets bigger and stronger. Feed the angel, and that's the one that's going to get stronger. You guys, we have to focus on our angel and start sending love to all scenarios, and know in our heart for sure, with some, conviction, that something better is coming down the line, and we are the ones who are creating it. We are in the fifth dimension. We shift it. Most people don't realize that we now have the power to manifest everything. We always did, but now it's even more powerful than it has ever been, and it's getting stronger and stronger. And in order to be enlightened, to be the one that's awakened, you have to smack yourself in the face and say, hey, I'm making this. And I have to quit focusing on that and put my intention here where I have a desire for it to be, and watch how fast it will, what you have a desire for will manifest. I'll just stop right there. I think I've...
Yes, it's very important to understand this. And don't be surprised if a total different change is taking place before that election day for you.
Yes.
That really changed things. We will not put any words into your mouth, but we can say that there are so much energy flowing now around you that are going to affect you in a way that you couldn't imagine. And it will change. Maybe there are third parts popping up. Maybe there are different people showing themselves that are coming from another direction totally, that will in an instant hold that power to help you in your best interest.
I'm down for that. Most definitely.
Thank you for that answer.
Most definitely.
You're welcome.
May I ask another question, please?
Yes.
Yes, in my line of work as a healer, there are many people that are trying to neutralize their negative energies or things that may be caught in their aura or their inner etheric field from past lifetimes. What kind of advice can you give to people as they work through those very quickly now? Because we're waking up very rapidly. People are doing a fast track of awakening and healing and clearing. What kind of advice can you give to people who are working through their emotional and energetic blocks at this time?
We can say that if you understand that all of that reality for you is created out of you, from you, and as you realize that, it will no longer affect you in physical way or in a mental way. And a good thing to do is to meditate and, as we said before, reconnect back to nature. Listen to the elders in your uh, people from your Indians. I
Indian
think
Native
it's called
Americans.
Indians. Listen to the elders' messages. They have the knowledge how to demolish this energy, and most of you are not affected in any way by what you have been through before. You're just holding on to that belief system. If you release that, you're cured instantly.
Thank you. I just want to give you some gratitude from all of the listeners and from my heart today for coming forth and answering some of the most burning questions as people are working through their issues.
You're mostly welcome to do that. That's our purpose with communicating with you today.
And I only had one more question that I had a desire to bring forward. Well, I say one, but some of the subscribers have asked me to ask about the grid system on the planet, and I told them in the other session that I did with Darren from the UK, he was speaking about the pyramids being placed on the ley lines. But anything that you could share about the grid lines or the ley lines on the planet, because you said I guess you could see them when the planet was shining, or the one entity could see them. But whatever you could share, please.
It's not any physical lines, it's just a distributing of energy levels.
Yes.
And where they placed the pyramids in ancient time, they were aware of the connection. It was a method for them to communicate. Today you use satellites. Today you have other technology that wasn't meant to be known about in that timeline. But we can say that this energy that's coming into your reality is spreading like an icing on a cake on your planet. It's not making an exception of any places that are more energetic than other places. It's just what the entities and beings living in that area hold into their heart that are affecting the level of the frequency. And it's spreading around all of your planet, and the lines in what you're talking about has no major role anymore for you.
That's really interesting. I know a lot of people have felt like they have been motivated or inspired to go to certain ley lines and do particular energy work or what have you. So,
It's the energy that pulling them in, not the special place, but the special energy that's pulling them into that places.
okay. So I just, you know how I am. I don't like to invalidate anyone, especially when so many people are saying a particular something, and then if you say something that seems to be counter, it's like, okay, I'm not trying to make anyone a liar, but there's always different perspectives. So I am.
That is not our purpose to say that anyone is lying,
That's
but
understood.
maybe they are not understanding what is pulling them there. If they call it a ley line, or if they call it a holy place, or if they call it a spiritual place, it doesn't matter. It's just holding on to that energy that um, uh, are connected to them in a way that other places on your planet are not. But the level of energy is almost the same, but the kind of energy is different. So what is resonating with you is maybe not resonating with your neighbor. So that is the difference. But you can say you are drawn to a place because of the ley lines. It's no problem at all. We just wanted to clarify that it's the energy of that place that pull you in.
Very good. Understood. Well, most people are sending love down those lines anyway, and to
Sure,
me, that's just a good thing. So,
sure.
all right, very good. Well, I could go on forever, but I'm going to stop right there as far as my questionings are. And Michelle, if there's anything else that you had that you'd like to present in this moment as far as questions, you may, and then we can bring Lars. Lars, how's Lars' body doing here now?
He's fine. He's off playing with energy.
Very good. And are we still speaking to the what the blue swans, or are we back to I think it's to
The
Maya?
communication is going through me, Maya, to you now.
Very good, Maya. Thank
We
you.
are all connected.
Absolutely. So, Michelle.
Maya and the collective, how can we, in the near future, be able to help children who have been hurt by these vaccines and this label that we use as autism? I personally have a family member who has special needs, and will we have technologies coming soon, or how will we be able to help these? Because it is very difficult for the child to live in the extreme environment. They're very sensitive, and it's very, very difficult for the parents as well to help um, emotionally on them and draining. And what will be coming to help these children?
The best help you can give them is to listen what needs they have, because they're coming in here with a purpose. They're coming in with a mindset that are different from you. So you have to protect them and give them the environment they need. So if they are very sensitive from sound or light, keep them out of that. And most of the parents feel a form of guilt and not being enough. But as long as they recognize their connection with this child, they are going to get help from inside themselves. And when they start to listen of all the advice coming from outside, they doing not a favor to the child, because they are the best in getting the knowledge from the child, because they was selected as parents for this child. So if they follow their intuition, what the child need, they will do the best for that child and also for themselves.
Thank you. In order to help the parent of someone with a child like this, it would be good to know, they did make that contract before they came in. They did know that the child would be one that is affected by these vaccines or by another means to bring, this autism on.
The child that came in decided also what role it had to play when it come into this manifestation, and they chose who they wanted to interact with in form of parents and relatives. And it's very important to hold on to that feeling of respect. And for parents, mostly it's about that they are feeling guilty, that they have done something wrong. They have to let go of that feeling to be able to connect in a level that is better for them and for the child. They have no guilt, and they are also aware of what is leading to something better for the child and for many other childs. And they're doing the best in communicate their experience with others in the same situation. Because this child that is given to them or was decided to come into their lives are a gift for them to invoke different level of emotions, different level of understanding, And you have to see it as a big gift for you and your ability to evolve as a species, as an individual in the area of the collective.
Beautiful.
And they are special. They are chosen and have chosen themselves to come into this reality now to show you things you have never seen before. So listen to them, observe them, and find a way, if they are not verbally able, they have other way to express what they feel and what they see and what they can sense. So try to find a way to have that communication as long as you haven't developed the ability of telepathy. If you have that, which all of your entities on your planet have, but if you're not able to tap into that ability, try different things. Try painting, try music, try singing, try hugging, try bathing, try everything you can, and you will feel directly when it's in the right frequency for that child and for you.
Excellent. Excellent.
Does this answer your question?
It does. Thank you. I know that they teach us unconditional love and patience, and that's very important for one person to experience that, because since we are all connected, as one person begins to understand the gift of dealing with in your life, dealing with someone that's challenged, it begins to open your heart and begins to allow you to share that feeling of unconditional love with every living being on the planet.
Yes, and you grow as a singular being. And as you grow as a singular being, you're putting that energy back to the collective. And it's a gift. It's a really divine gift.
Thank you.
So take care of it.
Thank you.
Ah, very nice. Very nice. Maya, you're the best. We love you. We are in such a state of gratitude. And I believe everything, all the information that has come through, and all the people who tune into our channels will find this quite, I'm using the word today, delightful. Um, I can apologize in advance if I was a bit aggressive, but it's just my style, and I can only be myself or what have you. So it is what it is. Um, we are very, very grateful always and eternally for the connection that we're able to make. And uh, I thought about Dolores Cannon because because of Dolores, I had been doing regressions for 20 years before I found quantum healing hypnosis technique. And what drew me into starting to do the sessions in the very beginning was of the miraculous healing. Now, of course, I'm in Houston, Texas, so I'm say, okay, well, I can't be talking about no healing, not where I'm in the place where there's the largest medical center in the world, and like they say in Texas, they don't play. So I'm just like, I like to explore and to get questions, and I feel very in tuned and connected, and so the way the energy flows through me, the questions that I have, the statements that I make or whatever are not just coming from what you would consider an ego base. If you see it that way, then, that's understood. Then I'm not for you. There's someone else. Michelle, I'm really happy that as I am, you connect with me and you keep saying, I know you. And I sort of like that, because just sitting here in this session with you today, I feel like I know you even more as well. I like how gentle and genteel and smooth you are. And it feels good. It feels good to communicate with you in such a way and doing this work that we're doing. And I'm happy that you recognize Lars and myself. And So, Lars, what I'd like you to do, oh,
Is there anyone else that
Dolores,
has wanted to come forward, or do we need to go to another place
uh,
before we wrap up?
well, I was thinking about Dolores and she kept coming on my
I
mind.
know.
Really had a desire. I wrote it down.
I know. I feel.
Is she in the house? Is
Do you really want to talk to me again?
You said you'd come every time I'd ask, and so yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Ah, we love you, Dolores.
What's on your mind this time?
I just wanted to tell you that, of course, you know how much I love you and how much you've changed my life. As I was saying, when I found out about this particular technique, I had to learn it immediately, and I caught it in the beta stage. And I feel like I've been one of your biggest supporters as far as putting them out there so people can see and recognize that. I've had so many people say, they've seen the sessions and this is why they decided to get. One of the things that we spoke about earlier was you said that in the last interview, because I actually had a sit down interview with you, and then after that, you come running in because you thought we were going to leave, and you're like, hey, don't forget me. So I just wanted to ask this question again while we have you on such a huge forum. My channel is small compared to Michelle's. You said that there were things that were different that you recognized in quantum healing hypnosis technique that you didn't recognize when you were physically manifest. And if you could expand upon that in this moment, that would be amazing. You were speaking about a connection, but I'll let you tell it.
Yeah, first I wanted to thank you very much for the recognition, and I have to say that I feed on that flattering.
That's okay.
And you know that in this reality where I am now, it's so different because I have no boundaries in my thinking and in my way of perceive things around me. So it's sometimes very hard to explain to you what the difference are, but I will try to put forward what the message from me were. And by the way, I'm not that fast of a runner, but you told me last time that you wanted to talk to me, and then you turned your back on me, and I will not stand up with that.
I was gonna go to the other door, but it was a double door, so I didn't know that you were there in the double door. So I know what a double door means now.
I'm just pulling your leg. I'm just.
I know, you know. Okay.
And by the way, we were talking about the perception that was different between when I was manifested on the planet and now. And the way I see that it's taking the energy that is brought into this method is much bigger than I ever could understand then. And the way it's now has developed since I decided to step out of this reality, and I can see with open heart now how it's developing into different areas in different methods, and the most important thing is that it's performed with the highest intention in your heart, and how you do it and exactly how it should be done is not up to me to say. It's up to you to feel and work out what is resonating with the way you work. So I acknowledge the kind of work you do and your friends do, and the ones you are affecting with this work.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, of course, every time you come around, I get this big grin on my face. It's hard for me to get off. So Michelle has something to say. You rock my world, Dolores. Michelle.
Dolores, I know there are a lot of people who are able to communicate with you now. And maybe there's some that are trusting themselves and they know that they're actually talking to you, but can you give a message to those who think they've made contact with you on how they can tell and how they can trust themselves that they're really making contact with you? Because you can be many places at one time, can't you?
Yes. And by the way, I want to acknowledge that I love you very much and the
Oh,
work you're doing.
I love you too. And you know, my partner Greg had you on our radio show in
Yeah.
5D radio, and
Yes.
he cherishes that moment very much. It's like a highlight of his career here
And you
on the
know, I
planet.
have much more to do now than when I was alive. There's many that wanted to communicate with me, and also I have other things to do, but I'm all over the place all the time. So yes, I can be in very many places at the same time. But sometimes I also need uh, time for myself to adjust and develop. And you are not always able to connect with me, but you will always have the ability to get your question answered.
And so many
So
people do have questions.
yes, but they don't need to turn to me.
Exactly.
I am not a goddess that have more than anyone else in my area, but you should listen to your inner self when you're doing this work. But any practical question of how you should do, I can only say to you that you are doing this from the feeling you get when you're feeling happy doing this and you're feeling a result that feeding back to you with positive energy. And as long as you have the highest intention and not using selfishness to doing this kind of work in this area, you're doing the right thing.
Thank you. And you have the attention of all of the N5D listeners right now. And would you like to give another message to them as you have their attention? Because they all love you. Many of them have read your books, and yes, we don't look to you for all the answers, but you have been so instrumental in helping every one of us to wake up and to understand the different realities and understand about a star seed and about the waves of volunteers. It's invaluable information waking up. There's so many that are connected to you, and you've done such a wonderful job of reaching so many people. You worked tirelessly for so many years writing all of the books that you wrote so you could leave those with the waves of people who are waking up. And what would be a message now that you have all of N5D's attention?
I must say that I must much appreciate the way you're talking to me, and it's bursting me, so I'm now 200 feet tall. And I want to say thank you to you all that carrying my legacy further into the future of coming generation. You should not look at my work as some kind of Bible or instruction. It was just meant for giving you another perspective of what's going on and what you are. And I'm so happy and grateful to had that opportunity to do that before. And I can tell you that I'm still writing a lot. And I also taking up dancing because I'm so light and so slim now. And it's really nice to be in that condition that I wasn't able to do in my last year on the planet.
So are able to really do a lot more on where you are now than you were able to do towards the end of your life?
Yeah, foremost, I can see what is happening, and it pleased me to see that it's going in the right direction, and the influence I had to put you on a path that you are in time also developing into suiting your path better. So I'm not the one that telling you how to do and what to be. It's from inside you, but just being able to evoke that in you was very pleasing for me.
Oh, very instrumental. It was like Barbara Marciniak and your information reminded me that I was from the stars and I came here for a mission, and that's what it was designed to do. And yeah, I agree that, every now and then when I need to escape from reality, I'll read one of your books and feel comforted of reminding myself of home and reminding myself that this is a temporary situation here on earth. And I'm always looking for something to bring me back to home so that I can stay here longer rather than needing to or wanting to leave sooner than I had planned. So thank you for that.
You're most welcome, and you still have so much to do that will bring you joy in your life. So stay on your path.
Thank you.
Definitely changed my life.
Thank you. You need some kickers sometime, I think.
Very, very good. Now, Dolores, I always have questions, and um, one floated in my head, and then it floated right back out, and I'm trying to wait for it to circle around and come back in again. Um, I just, I guess what I had a desire to say is, I just wish, for the record, that everyone who decides to do the technique, the quantum healing hypnosis technique, is that they do the technique the way that it was intended to be done, of course, with the highest intent, but anything that they would ask or request to do it in a certain fashion, to do it because I hold a lot of respect for your legacy and I know that a lot of times people don't understand words, especially legalities and those type of things or whatever. So they say, okay, well, a certain person is being a control freak or whatever. It's like, no, they're being cautious. They're being cautious so they don't get shut down, and so that this can continue to grow the way it's supposed to grow and the way that it is growing, and it will develop and in different ways, as you said, and that's why I said words are very important. So, and it's understood, and I think they understand without even having to say who or what if they happen to cross this path and see this particular. But I
It's very important to have into your mind that you are responsibility to the legality issues where you are living now. So you have to check that out, because I don't want you to come in harm's way for legal issues. That's why I now improve and think it's a good thing for you to develop your own method. And of course, I like that you perform and take my legacy forward. But I also understand that it's not possible to stop any development of that method. And I want to bring a message to my daughter that are so worried about things, that she can light up on this. It's going in the right direction, and she don't need to hold on to that worry at all, because it's all going to be fine. So Julia, I love you.
Oh,
I love you, and we are forever connected
and Julia,
in a collective way. And you certainly need to acknowledge that and respect that is a reality and not a fantasy.
acknowledge our 11th dimensional connection.
Yes. You all come through this dimension before you manifested on this planet you're residing now. But many of you forgot as you came in the task and issues you had to fulfill. But you are now helped with this burst of energy to connect back to that knowledge again. And many of you waking up in a higher rate than ever before. And we are pleased to see this. very pleased to see this.
Thank you. And we are very honored with your presence, and we appreciate it tremendously. And as you're in this energetic bubble, is there somewhere that you're supposed to travel to so we can, uh,
I'm there now.
uh,
I'm already there.
and where have you made it to then, sir?
I am on a physical planet that is a moon to a giant other gas planet that are surrounded with a big aura. And they're showing us this because this is the place that we all descended from before reincarnated in back to your planet.
We have we were there before. Are you by the lake or?
Yes, it's the same place.
Oh, very good. And Maya, is Maya in this place with you today, or are you manifest as Maya now?
Yes, you're talking to Maya.
How are you, Maya? I recognize you. That's quite an outfit you have on there.
Yeah, I think it was appropriate for the time.
Oh, very good. Is that because we have a lady here? We have Michelle Whaling. Are you familiar with Michelle Whaling?
Sure.
She's a beautiful light worker. And what can you just, I would like to bring her into this conversation as quick as I possibly can. What could you tell Michelle about what you know about who she is and what you recognize in her energy signature, please?
She has been a light worker for many of the years. And she's a very enlightened being. And she's connecting to many of you on your planet. You are also connected in different communities and doing work together there.
The planet is shifted into the fifth dimension at that time, and a majority of the people just haven't realized it. Is that would that be accurate?
Yes, but some of it started long before that.
Oh, very good.
In the linear time of you in the 50s, after many big wars, they were decided that this is the timeline and the place for you to shift. It was the uh, most
Energetic bombardment.
yeah, it was the best timeline for you to go into this shift now.
Okay, very good. Right before the
Because
60s.
because of the placement of your galaxy and universe, and because of the placement of your solar system in the galaxy. It was very much beneficial for you to do this now.
Excellent. Excellent. Is there anything else that they would like to share about what they're presenting to you now before we go forward?
They're showing me a very pristine, lovely planet, glowing with energy, glowing. It's almost like it's a bliss, but not in a religious way.
Understood.
They're showing that we are going to connect back and value things in another way than we did before, and respecting things and not exploring the planet you live on in the same way because you're causing harm. When you're causing harm to the planet and take out all resources from it, you're also hurting every living being on the planet. And it's very important for you to reconnect to the nature and try to heal it. You can heal it with love. You can heal it physically in some places where you cause injury to the planet. And it's very much important now to realize that you not longer can sustain that kind of living you have had before. We are here to help you. We are going to bring forward technique and technology for you to use in this, but you have to be in a state of mind before we can reveal this for you.
Understood. And who are we, please?
We are the collective of 11th dimension talking to you now. And all of you on your planet are connected in this planet system that we are receiving now.
Is that what we?
That's what we are seeing, the energy boosting all on this planet and the other planets. And it seems like it's coming in a loop from the center of the galaxy into different planets. It's
Beautiful.
it's beautiful.
Is this what's happening in the now? Is this what's happening right now as in our linear expression?
Yeah,
Oh, very good.
it's happening and has been going on for a while now. And it's continue for a while into our future.
And just for the sake of, because we're asking this question, and then there may be lots of people who are watching this that may not understand what they're saying or what the meaning of what you're expressing is. What is the end game? What happens as this energy? What's going to happen as this energy keeps bombarding the planet? What are they saying? What is their impression of what will happen?
It's like you're fulfilled with different kind of energy that you haven't had access to before. It's raising your knowledge and your understanding of how things are connected and how important it is for you to acknowledge that connection in a collectively way. But you also have to understand that you as a singular being are very important. You are a cog in this connection.
A cog in the wheels of creation.
Yeah, and in the wheel of life going on.
Understood.
Yes. I want to share this with us because many are in doubt on your planets that anything is going to change. But as soon as they let go of that thought that they have in their mind and stop, listen to the brain chatter and connect with their inner self, they are soon realize that this is actually happening.
Excellent. Beautiful. Um, I had a question about this energetic shift and this. From my understanding, in our linear past on December 21st, 2012, when there was the huge, as we're still in that alignment, that
And there's some over my chest is striped with different, seems like letters or symbols.
interesting, very good. And let's just
And down in the bottom of the rim of this robe or garment, there is also a stripe with there are beads in the end of this. It's like not diamonds, but some kind of jewelry.
some type of crystals or something.
Yes, shining in different colors,
Wow,
and it's beaming out also from that edge there.
excellent. Now go ahead and focus forward again, and the reflection will fade. And as you're in this beam of energy, are you traveling inside this to somewhere, or are you just sitting stationary?
I am supposed to travel, but they want me to show something first.
Ah, very good. And let them show you, and you may.
They take me out this energy take me out a bit in the space surrounding the planet Gaia, and they are showing that it's are being lit up with beams of light coming from every direction, not only from the sun, it's coming from everywhere, and it's almost glowing. The atmosphere is glowing around the planet, and it's going all through the solar system, this beam that's almost jumping between the planets. And it's like it's hit by a lot of light and energy.
And does the energy seem to be coming from the planet itself, or does it actually seem like it's coming from the entities on the planet?
Now it seems like it comes from outside into the planet,
Ah, very
but
good.
there is not one singular source for it just come in from different angles, bombarding the planet with energy.
Ah, very good. And I want you to telepathically send a message to the energy that's encompassing you and ask it, what are you being shown, please?
They're telling me that they want us to see the shifting of the energy level in this. I'm inside a ball of light and energy.
Interesting. Are you laying in this ball of energy? Are you folded up in Indian style? How are you in this ball of energy?
I'm sitting down with crossed legs in the middle of this energy ball.
Oh, very nice. And I want you to just look at your form, look at your hands. How are you shaped? How do you?
I have rather dark skin. I have long arms, long legs, and I have same hands I had before, 3 fingers and a thumb.
Very nice. And what color is your skin? Oh, you say it's dark, but dark.
Brown.
Ah, very good. And your face and your head? How does your?
I feel no hair on my head, so I'm bald. I have a little peculiar formed head. It's like it's wider on the top and narrow down on my chin.
A peculiar formed head, so wide on the top and narrow at the chin.
Yeah. A small, narrow mouth, rather big eyes, bigger than normal.
Oh, very good. And inside this energy ball that you're inside of, is it transparent?
Yeah, in part it's transparent. Some parts are dimmed, but
Understood.
I can make it transparent.
No.
When I look at one part, it's becoming transparent.
Ah, very good. I want you to look to your right, and magically you will see a really good reflection of yourself. And I just want you to really look at yourself and describe this form. Is it?
It's definitely extraterrestrial. I have met this uh, entity before.
In our sessions?
Yes,
Ah, very good. And you can. And what are you wearing? What type of garments?
I have a full cover over my body with purple, some kind of fabric from top to toes.